been conclusively defined. The name is an ancient one,
Can I get in trouble for this?
who lived along the Mediterranean coast and were also known
Alexa,
as
stop. Alexa, is Jimmy Carter still alive? I think he is, but just barely. Alexa, is Jimmy Carter alive?
Jimmy Carter is still alive. He is 99 years old.
Did he just turn 100? Or did he just turn 99? Alexa, when is Jimmy Carter's birthday?
Jimmy Carter's birthday is on October 1st.
Yeah, maybe he turned 99. Alexa, what year was Jimmy Carter born in?
Jimmy Carter was born on October 1st, 1924.
Okay, so he's going to be 100. Wow. Don't think he's going to make it. I know a lot of people don't like him, but I never disliked him. I worked for him in 1980, basically because I was afraid of what Reagan might do. Looking back at it, Reagan wasn't so bad considering the lunatic. Well, looking back at it, Bush wasn't so. I mean, they all made mistakes. Reagan made mistakes. He went too far with the lowering taxes on the rich. I mean, I can see that that was a bad move now. It affected the whole world. He could have done something, maybe lowered capital gains, done something less extreme to stimulate the economy. But I think if you look at what's happening in this country now, we're being torn apart because the rich have all the money. There are countries like Australia and Belgium that aren't that rich, but average people do better. I'm not talking about the average net wealth. I'm talking about the average median wealth. I think I've discussed this before. Average net wealth, average net wealth, is when you take all the wealth of a country and you divide it by its population and you come up with a hypothetical number. If everybody got an equal piece of the pie. And I think Switzerland has the biggest. Ours is like $750,000 in net worth if you divide it all up. How many of you out there watching this, if anybody is even watching this, have assets of $350,000? How much do I have? I didn't work for it, but you know, people die and leave you money. 3.4 million. And that's not a lot. And I was an idiot. And I dumped it all in the Caymans because I got angry about. I'm one of I'm liberal on some issues and conservative on others. I don't mind paying taxes. Of course, I don't mind paying taxes because I never really worked very hard. I mean, I've had jobs. I worked in market research. I went to law school. I worked really hard in law school. Political consultancy. I had one boss told me that I was useless 99% of the time, and I said, well, yeah, I know that. I agreed with him. I says, what do you keep me around for? He says, that 1%. I says, what do you mean 1%? He says, 1% of the time you're fucking brilliant, man. It's a shame someone like you, if you'd apply yourself, you could. This isn't true though, because I have emotional problems. But he says, if you could keep up that level of creativity and just take it up to a higher level, you could have done something in your life. Every once in a while, I'll be talking to you, and you don't even know it. You'll babble, 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 babble. Most of the stuff that you say doesn't make sense. The other is just like ridiculous. And then that 1% is like an epiphany you have. You have really good ideas 1% of the time. And I dismiss you 99% of the time. And the thing I like about you is you don't argue. You know you're an idiot. But you're not an idiot. All the time. There's that 1% of the time. It's like you're a different person. And that's kind of why I'm on, because I don't believe in multiple personalities. And I know I'm always conscious. I don't have blackouts or anything like that. I know I can feel it coming, and I try so hard to control it. I listen to like Buddhism, Peace in Every Step, and Sit Down and Shut Up, and Jimmy Carter, because he's talking about peace, and he's got a serene. He's a good man. Was he a good president? I think he could have been a lot worse. I think he was a president during difficult times, and he got blamed for a lot of things that weren't his own fault. But I think the reason he did as badly or thing as he did was because he's just a nice guy. You can't be a nice guy in politics. You have to be a son of a bitch. You have to be ruthless and dishonest. So was Trump a good president? Because he is ruthless and dishonest. Well, he's also an idiot, and he's too dishonest. He has no. I mean, Nixon was an example, I think, of a president. I don't think he was stupid though. Alexa, what was Richard Nixon's IQ? Alexa, what was Richard Nixon's IQ?
According to BBC News, no president's IQ has ever been officially confirmed or made public.
Huh. Well, let me. So wait a minute. This is going to be short. Of course, it's not. What is Nixon's IQ? Presidential IQs. Oh, for Delta. Levenstein Institute, Scranton. Okay. Roosevelt 142, Truman 132, Eisenhower 122. Kennedy 174, Johnson 126, Nixon 155, Gerald Ford 121, James Earl Carter 175. See, he was a smart man. Ronald Wilson Reagan 105. George Herbert Walker Bush 98. Ooh, William Jefferson Clinton 182. George Walker Bush 91. Oh, come on. They can't be that stupid. Alexa, who is George Herbert Walker Bush?
George Herbert Walker Bush was an American politician, diplomat, and businessman who served as the 41st President of the United States from 1989 to 1993.
Alexa, who is George Walker Bush? Alexa, who is George Walker Bush?
George Walker Bush was the 43rd President of the United States, serving from 2001 to 2009. He was born on July 6, 1946, in New Haven, Connecticut.
It doesn't. Okay, so Nixon was 155, so that's genius. Clinton, yeah, 182. Yeah, you don't think of Clinton as smart. He couldn't keep his dick in his pants. Trump's IQ. Okay, he thinks he's smart and he isn't. That's Dunning-Kruger. What is Trump's IQ? I wonder if anybody could be objective about this. I don't think he's really as stupid as people think he is. He's just a horrible person. Oh, for God's sakes. People who boast about their IQs are losers. Yeah, he's childish. He's just how smart is President-elect Donald Trump? Oh, wait, here Okay, here we go. Here we go. Every president's IQ ranked. Oh, for the love of God. Open. How the U.S. presidents rank according to IQ. Read now. Oh, for the love of God. All these pop-ups. I close. This is going to ruin my computer. I know it. It won't close. probably clicked on something that'll. Okay, okay. Average IQ, majority of presidents rank above this. Donald Trump, 145 or 101. Whether you like his politics or not, Donald Trump has, during his tenure, has shown an interesting manner of speaking, and some have identified as being similar to the early stages of dementia. Different reports list Trump's IQ at 101, just above average, and 145. Huh. Yeah, I don't think he's stupid in the sense that he's stupid. He's just a jerk. He's very spoiled. Grant, 110. I don't think he's brilliant. He definitely isn't a genius. They say Grant wasn't too smart. He was good at war though. Andrew Johnson, 110. Anti-Semitic historical figures. There were a lot of them. Voltaire, Bakunin. They're just, I mean, those aren't people, William Taft, 114. Well, they have Trump down as pretty stupid. It's hard to tell with him. He's very clever at obfuscating, at hiding things. Calvin Coolidge, 124. He's a flim-flam man. He's very good at lying. Harry Truman, 130. Yeah, at any rate, I've got to learn to control my emotions. It's none of my business. If I feel helpless, maybe it's because I deserve to be helpless. Why does it do any good to be mean? Yeah, maybe they should. I think that would be a solution. The state of Israel could exist if it returned to its 1947 lines and just gave the Palestinians. It's not a matter of who, oh, they attacked us. There was sneakiness involved before 1948. And the Palestinians just said, look, we don't want them coming in and buying up everything. And the English let them. Orangey Harding, 130. Oh, Ronald Reagan, 130. Yeah, I don't think he was dumb. 130 is not genius, but it's like what they call gifted. He had some gifts. I agree with a lot of things he did, but he was gifted. Okay, let's take a look here. Yeah, I'm always just going to be really quick, and I'm not. I end up being, blah blah running my mouth for 3 hours. God, William Henry Harrison, 132. I don't even know who he was. Oh, was a general in the War of 1812. He would have likely been still. He died 30 days into his presidency. That's why I don't remember him. Succeeded by Tyler. Pneumonia? I think he died of pneumonia. There were a lot of presidents. What, like Alexa, how many presidents were there? William McKinley, 132. Alexa, how many?
William McKinley is the 25th President of the United States, sharing a position with Theodore Roosevelt, William Howard Taft, and Woodrow Wilson.
Okay, so let's say there were, I think 70, there were 50 presidents. Alexa, how many American presidents were there?
Despite President Joe Biden being inaugurated as the 46th President of the United States, only 45 people have served as president. This is due to President Grover Cleveland serving 2 non-consecutive terms as the 22nd and 24th presidents.
Okay, Richard Nixon, 103. Alexa, so how many people have been president of the United States?
The United States has had 46 presidents. However, Grover Cleveland, the only president to serve non-consecutive terms, is counted twice, making the total number of presidents 45.
Okay, 45. Okay, we've got 45. Eisenhower had 134. See, that's pretty good. He wasn't a dummy. If you go by these figures, John Tyler, states' rights and a strict constitutionalist. Well, I'm not. I mean, that made sense back then. I mean, not being pro-slave. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess it made sense. I mean, it was desirable, but at least it made sense to be a strict, be pro-slavery and a strict constitutionalist. I don't agree with any of those things, but I think it made some sense back then. A lot of things make sense that I don't agree with. Some things are just so outrageous, they don't even make sense. It's like privatizing Social Security. I don't agree with it, but I've seen some plans that made sense. I would be highly risky. What I don't agree with is like abolishing income taxes and not having any Social Security mandatory savings system. That to me doesn't make sense. That's insane. That would be disaster. Okay, George W. Bush, 138. Yeah, I mean, because education helps your IQ go up. Helps you exercise your brain. Gerald Ford, 140. There, we're getting close to genius. Ugh, God, it's. George Washington. George Washington was a smart guy. I can see that. I read some of the things he wrote. He was a good guy to have run. I mean, again, he's probably a little conservative for my taste, but I mean, it's no wonder people admire him. He was a Federalist. Lincoln, 140. They're putting a lot of these guys at 440. They put Trump at the bottom, though. Oh, it takes forever for this. Okay, Herbert Hoover, 141. Yeah, that was a difficult. Who could have dealt with that? But how do you measure intelligence? What did they have Roosevelt at? Garfield, 141. George Herbert Walker Bush, 143. Yeah, I think he was intelligent. Little snotty. Chester A. Arthur. Chinese Exclusion Act. Well, see that again. I don't think it's desirable, but it made sense back then. We were a racist country. What really didn't make sense to me was fighting for the institution of slavery. I mean, it probably did make sense, but to me, in the 21st century or going through the 20th century, it just seems to me that people should have realized not only was it profoundly immoral and wrong and oppressive, but it wasn't a practical thing. Oh, okay, Theodore Roosevelt was 143, so he was a genius. Haywise, you can go to Haywise. Grover Cleveland, 144. He was corrupt, wasn't he? Panic of 1893, which ended his tenure. Despite this, he won 3 presidential elections beforehand. Huh. Andrew Jackson, he was a genocidal maniac. He was what he was. He was a populist man of the people, but he was mean to his slaves and to Native Americans. Product of his time, I guess. Progressive president that fought for voting rights for African Americans. Okay, but ultimately failed. Alexa, when was Benjamin Harrison president?
Benjamin Harrison was the 23rd President of the United States, serving from 1889 to 1893.
Alexa, what party was Benjamin Harrison in?
Benjamin Harrison was affiliated with the Republican Party, which was the dominant political party in the United States during his time.
Woodrow Wilson, 145. Oh. Rutherford B. Hayes. I know the names, but just don't really know what they did. Franklin Pierce. How goth! Look at his hair. He couldn't comb your hair, Franklin Pierce. Thought the Union would be ripped apart by abolitionism legislation like the Fugitive by a number of historians, and Pierce is seen as exacerbating. Yeah, he was just a jerk. See, I don't see how they didn't see. Well, they didn't see that the war was inevitable, and I guess they wanted to keep the country together. So I guess it makes sense. To me, I don't have a sensible attitude, even if the country would have been completely burned to the ground. Burning Atlanta. I had a relative, Matt Sands. His name is down at the Soldiers and Sailors Monument. He was in Atlanta. Alexa, when did Atlanta burn?
According to an Alexa Answers contributor, on November 15, 1864, United States forces led by General William Tecumseh Sherman burned nearly all of the captured city of Atlanta, Georgia, United States.
Yep, that was my great-great-grandfather. He drank a bit. He was from Alsace, and he smoked cigars, and he was mean. He was a mean guy. Proud of him. He did a good thing. I hope white people in the South suffered. I mean, here it is. Franklin D. Roosevelt, 150. See, he was a smart guy, very gregarious. To me, he was the best president. I really admire him. I know people watching this will now hate me because they think that he was a communist or whatever, and the New World Order and the Jewish Bolshevism or whatever. Oh, John Adams, okay. Alexa, what political party did John Adams belong to? Federalist?
John Adams was affiliated with the Federalist Party.
I guess if I would have lived back then, I would have been a Federalist too. They were for big government. They were conservative, but they were big government conservatives. We needed a big government. That's the irony. Conservatives were for big government because we needed infrastructure. We needed schools. We needed programs like land programs. Barack Obama, 150. His wife does not look like a man. She's pretty. Stop that. It's disrespectful. But I hate when they do that. Say that they're a lesbian. They're a gay couple. It's crazy. The average person's an idiot. James Madison, 155. Wonder who the smartest one was. Why does everybody think Bill Clinton was so smart? James Madison. Okay, Jimmy Carter, 156. I guess he was a smart man. I like Jimmy Carter. I think he was a good man. But evidently he also was a smart man. Very religious also. Bill Clinton, 159. What a degenerate, you know? I mean, so what if he was smart? Here we go, another degenerate. JFK. But smart. Immoral, but smart. I suspect he had Marilyn Monroe killed, so I'm not really a big JFK fan. Thomas Jefferson, 160. The government's best. Yeah, Alexa, what political party was Thomas Jefferson a member of?
Thomas Jefferson was a member of the Democratic Republican Party, which was founded by him and is considered the predecessor to the modern Democratic Party.
Yeah, I see the old Democratic Party. I wouldn't have had anything to do with. I would have been a Federalist. If I lived during this time of the Civil War, I would have been a Republican. But I mean, it's like that has no bearing on our time. It's just like you can't compare. What is wrong with this stupid? Was he? Oh, it says next. John Quincy Adams, not to be confused with his father. Alexa, when was John Quincy Adams president?
John Quincy Adams was President of the United States between March 4, 1825 and March 4, 1829.
Well, it says he was the smartest. Next article. Oh, this computer is just so... I got the swirling ball of death here. This could be bad. How long is this thing going to swirl? Boy, something's really stuck. Build support for Israel. I say, well, I support Israel. Now this is, huh? Well, that's a fine how do you do. Well, maybe I can, maybe it'll unfreeze. I don't know. Well, that's interesting. Okay. Well, I can't see myself because it's frozen. It's a little experiment. I might lose this, so we won't go on. I don't support Israel. I don't. I think it's been a long time since I have. I don't think that necessarily makes me anti-Semitic any more than someone saying, "Well, I don't support Germany," or "I don't support France," or "I don't support the Ukraine." Why do we have to support Israel? Why do I have to support Israel? And what am I, a slave? Why does 1% of the population control this country? Now you can say that sounds anti-Semitic, but I don't give a shit. If you criticize Jews in any way, you're anti-Semite. I'm just saying that's too much power for any group. I don't like rich people. I say I want to kill them. I just want them to pay their taxes. In lieu of that, they should all die. I think that Israel should either pull back to its 1947 borders or it should just disappear. Now, do I want Jews to die? I really don't. My family hid Jews. I don't want them to be exterminated. I got it witness. I don't support Hamas. I understand why Hamas exists. I did support the IRA. And when I say I supported them, it wasn't just. I'm not gonna give you the details, but that was not just an armchair thing. That wasn't just I supported them when I was having a political conversation on Saturday night. I supported them with money and with deed, and I make no apology for that. Am I sad about the Belfast Accord? No, not at all. I mean, it's just the war was counterproductive, and maybe I was wrong, but I guess emotionally. And I'm not Irish. It's just that it just seems to me it's a small country, and they were being picked on. They have a right to fight for their land, and they fought for it for 700 years. And it was just that the English were stronger than them. The Israelis barreled in, and they're just slaughtering those poor people. And I'm sick to death of being told that they're doing it, that it's Hamas's fault, that Arabs are bad people. Well, that is so hypocritical, because that's what people said about the Jews. Oh, the Jews deserve to be exterminated because communism, they cheated you at business, they killed Jesus Christ, so they were all collectively guilty. And amazingly, they turn around and do the same thing. All right.